and on this video I'm gonna show you how to update your Escort Redline 360c radar detector. First, I'll explain the two types of updates that are available for the detector, their benefits, and also how you could potentially save money by skipping some of those updates. Then I'll show you how to update the radar detector using the Drive Smarter app. And the first type of updates are firmware updates, which are currently available at no cost. Now, this type of updates can help to improve the detection performance of your detector, as well as to reduce false alerts from other vehicles on the road or automatic door openers. Now, there's already filters on the radar detector to help it reject false alerts, but firmware updates can help to further fine-tune and tweak those filters so this can better ignore signals coming from newer vehicles equipped with things like blind spot monitoring or adaptive cruise control. Firmware updates also sometimes add new features. The latest update for this radar added the ability to turn off the K filtering if you don't want no filtering and you want to be notified about every single signal that is detected. And yes, firmware updates are also sometimes used to patch bugs and improve the reliability of your radar detector. The second type of updates are Defender database updates, and the radar uses that database to alert you of things like the speed cameras, red light cameras, or potential air patrol zones. Now, these type of updates are included with your radar detector for 90 days after registering. After that, those type of updates require a subscription if you want to keep that Defender database updated. And here's the key part that could potentially save you money. Currently, Escort says that you may not need to subscribe for Defender database updates if you use the Drive Smarter app. If you use the app regularly with your radar detector and you're traveling through an area that has cell phone and data connection, then you're gonna be getting those Defender database alerts coming from the app as opposed to coming from the radar detector. Now, if you want the radar detector to have the newest Defender database stored on its memory so you don't have to use the Drive Smarter app for alerts, that's where the subscription comes into place, which allows you to routinely update the database as needed. And the radar is normally updated inside of the vehicle, but for purposes of filming this, I'm gonna use this power bank, which has an automotive socket that is able to provide the same 12 volts as if it was on the vehicle, and there it goes. Next, I'm gonna access the preference menu by holding both of these buttons down at the same time. And I'm gonna use this button to skip through the menu until I get to here, and I'm gonna change that user mode to advanced. Then I'm gonna continue skipping with the sense button on the left hand side, and I'm looking for auto power off. And here we go. They recommend that this is turned off before attempting to update the firmware. Then I'm gonna keep skipping with, again, the same button as before. Then on Wi-Fi, I'm gonna turn it on with the plus button, and I'm gonna tap one more time. Bluetooth, I'm also gonna turn it on with the same button. Now I'm gonna wait for this to exit the menu. Congratulations, both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are enabled. We can move over to the app. Next, you'll wanna download the Drive Smarter app from the App Store. Then I'm gonna pair the radar to the app, and that is done by tapping these three little lines, then tapping Devices, and then tapping Add New Device. Then I'm gonna tap Scan for Devices. And it has found my radar, so I'm gonna tap Continue, and I'm gonna accept the pair request. Now, in order for this to get updates via Wi-Fi, I have to set up a mobile hotspot. So I'm gonna tap Yes, and the hotspot, all it really does when I tap Set Up Mobile Hotspot is gonna ask me for the username and password of my hotspot, just like if I was connecting to a Wi-Fi. Now, alternatively, you could also connect to your home's Wi-Fi to get the updates. Again, you have to be within range of the Wi-Fi to get the updates. When you tap on Set Up Mobile Hotspot, you'll find your home's Wi-Fi, enter the Wi-Fi name and password to set up the hotspot/Wi-Fi. And you'll get this screen with all green check marks if you successfully connected to your hotspot or to your home's Wi-Fi. Now I'm gonna hit Continue. And the radar is now fully set up, ready for updating. So let's go inside of the preference menu again by holding both of these buttons down.
Preferences.
And then I'm gonna skip through the options with this button, just like before, until we find the update option. And here's where you can enable auto update of the database, auto update of the firmware, or auto update of both. I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna show you the manual process of the database or of the firmware. I'm gonna update that with the brightness button, and it's gonna ask you sure you wanna do it? I'm gonna tap yes. And then I'm just gonna wait for the update. Now this process could potentially take a while, so just sit back and relax. And the update is complete. Now a couple of last recommendations. There is another way to update the radar without using the Drive Smarter app, and that is done by downloading the Detector Tools Pro software from the Escort website and then connecting the radar detector physically with a cable to your computer to update it. And my final recommendation is regarding firmware updates. In my experience, updating the firmware on any device comes with some level of risks. There are times where after a firmware update, the device may not work as good as it did before. Rare, but it can happen. I also seen cases where you may lose features. I have not experienced that on radar detectors, but I have experienced that on dash cams. After updating the firmware, it is common to either have one or two features that I really like all of a sudden disappear, and sometimes it's not possible to roll back that update and go back to the prior software. And finally, the worst case scenario is that if something goes wrong during the firmware update, perhaps power loss, or maybe a cable gets disconnected in the process, or maybe a corrupted file, you could potentially break your device. This is again something that has not happened to me with radar detectors, but it has happened to me with dash cams, so updating firmware comes with some risk, which you want to consider before deciding to update the firmware on any device. So if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel and stay tuned as I have a lot more review videos coming up. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.